interesting lineup he fielded there. 7 changes in that lineup from the Chelsea lineup, with Nico Williams on the right, Rob on the left, and then Phillips and Williams and Reece Williams in the back. So a brand new back line, and you could see there was several times they were getting beat because they weren't in line. They weren't on the same page there. So that was, trying to rest people for Leipzig, I was scared, and man, did that ever come back to bite us there. Ben, where'd you sit with that lineup?
Well, on the one hand, I kind of get the logic that Champions League is the last thing to really fight for right now. Top 4, I don't know if that's even really in the cards anymore.
No spoilers. We're coming back to that.
Yeah, that's fair. But the Champions League is something you can legitimately fight for and legitimately hope to get a little deep in. So I get the logic of maybe trying to rest your main guys. But at the same time, when you've lost 5 games in a row at Anfield, why are you taking the risk with... And not only taking a risk with just your losing streak at Anfield, but also taking the risk on... you've already conceded to Chelsea, who was a top 4 opponent, rather. And now you're taking an even bigger risk by fielding a complete schmoz of a lineup. A very unnecessarily schmozzy lineup, I might add.
Schmozzy.
Well, think about it. The time between Sunday and Wednesday, it's not a 48-hour turnaround. You could get away with playing Trent Alexander-Arnold. You could get away with playing Sadio Mane. If your goal is to win the game, snap out of that streak, like you said, correct some of the form before we go into arguably a far more important game against Leipzig. And this goes back to what I was talking about with Chelsea. Like Klopp's tactical decision-making, it reeks of desperation to me. He's making ridiculous decisions, I think, because he just doesn't know what else to do. And it's desperation mode. There's not a lot of intelligence with it. There's not a lot of reason to it. He's just trying to do anything to get Liverpool out of this mess. And I think he needs to be a little smarter about what he's doing.
It is kind of scary there. And we'll set up the Leipzig game in a second, and that game's by no means in the bag. And I can understand you want to get your top lineup out there to make sure we win that game and comfortably get into the next round. But John, would you have played Wijnaldum, Milner, and Keita against, I don't want to say an informed Fulham, but they've had some good results in the past month or two. They weren't giving up a lot of goals, and anything they lost was all 1-goal games.
To me, actually, Milner is the only real question mark in that midfield. I think Keita is okay. We've got some Caters on this podcast. I understand that.
I'm going to just jump in quickly.
Present.
I might actually give Keita a little bit of credit for that game. There was I was not upset with Keita on this game.
Naby Keita, if you look at some of the stats, there was an article that you shared around with us.
Yes, that was surprising.
He's a good midfield presence. The knock against Keita is that he's not consistently available, but the times that he is available, he only takes 1 or 2 games to get right back into it. Whereas going back to Oxlade-Chamberlain, it's we've had him available for however many number of games to come off the bench, and what has he really done? Whereas Keita can be a bit of a presence in midfield. Milner, I think you're asking Milner to start a football game at 35. You're asking him to play 60 minutes at most, right? It's kind of, it is what it is. Getting back to something that you said though, Ben, you could potentially ask the likes of Trent, the likes of Mane to come on the bench, to play this game and then play off the Champions League game as well. I think that this is a matter of I do think that this is a matter of man management where you've got. I think even if Bobby had been he had taken a knock, even Bobby had been healthy. I think Klopp was maybe trying to make a bit of a point to both Mane, and I think he would have been making it to Bobby too, of just your play against Chelsea was not good enough.
But what do you stand to gain by making a point when you're this far in the hole?
You've got the opportunity to tell a player that doesn't always get a start.
So basically, your argument is that Klopp's pride is more important than potentially closing the gap.
No, I kind of see where John's come from. It's you're not guaranteed your spot, Ben. You're gonna have to. You're not playing today because you didn't play good enough. And if Shaq comes in and plays well, he's taking your spot. Problem is, how confident are we that we're going to get those?
Well, I think it's more so when he brought Salah off, the understanding that I had based on everything that I read was Salah wasn't following the instructions on the pitch. He wasn't tracking back fast enough. He was just sort of lazily sauntering back rather than actually tracking back and playing defensively. If I'm Klopp and I'm seeing that coming from one of my star players and he's not paying attention to me, like, you're damn right, I'm pulling you off right a friggin' way, because I have to stamp my authority on this match and on this squad. Like, you talk about, you can talk about like whether or not a manager loses a locker room, loses a squad based on, like, it comes based on results for sure, but like it definitely can also be based on like how he actually manages things and whether or not he has actually any authority over the players.
Yes, and that leads to a more important question, which we'll get to later, because if he is seeing that out of Salah and the other players, then I can understand, all right, you're not on page here, then we got to put somebody else who is on page. One person that seemed to be quite on point was, I got to give Jota some credit, because he came out firing, coming back from injury, and man, did he unleash a screamer from the top of the box, which would have been potentially goal of the year, but I might even put Areola up there for one of the saves of the year, because that was a pretty solid save he had in there. Even I'll give him credit on that. Ben, what did you think about Jota coming in there?
I thought, you go back to what you said about Chelsea. What were the positives? I think that was a huge positive in the Fulham game, because it gave just a quick look at what Jota can bring. I think it was a shame that it was saved, but yeah, he's been lacking game time for a while. But this is exactly what he can bring, and this is exactly what he's been lacking. Maybe he's a little more worked up. Maybe he's played a couple more minutes. Maybe he's a little more on the saddle that goes in, or he has more opportunities like that, I guess. And we're actually scoring again, other than scoring once at Anfield in 2021, which was a penalty. So I think that was good. I mean, obviously, it would have been great if it went in. I think
for multiple reasons.
We can all agree with that. But
it would have been our second goal at Anfield, our first that wasn't a penalty.
Yeah, our first in open play of 2021.
And man, that just leads me into some of those stats that people have been sharing around, and the ones that are kicking me up is, well, we're pretty much in 9th place now. I mean, technically, I think we're in 8th, but Villa have 2 games in hand and 3 points back. So let's give them a win in there, and that'll put them above, even on goal differential. And then what else did I have listed here? Yeah, 6 straight home losses at Anfield, worst home record in the top 4 divisions. Ben, was it you or John? When you guys sent that over?
No, I was sending it over. The teams that have a better home record this year than we do include the likes of Wycombe Wanderers, Preston North End, I believe.
Oh, so the team that we just took Ben Davies from is doing better at home than we are.
So that's karma right there. And Everton. In fact, I think John brought up a good point. I think Everton have more goals at Anfield than we do as well this year.
Yeah, they got 2 on us there, so that's pretty sad right now. And we all had, except for John. John, you had pegged the a 0-0 draw, so you were the closest there. But that was for the Chelsea game. Me and Benno both went with 2-0 wins, and nobody got the points there. So it was a rough weekend for us with predictions and matches.
I'm just saying, man. Like my strategy of going negative in the prediction game, it's paying off so far.
We went negative with the prediction, and we went negative with the loss. How is that working out for you?
I'm this much closer to starting to dominate this prediction game. That's all I'm saying.
Almost there, almost. So this leads us into this week's game. We got Leipzig coming up on Wednesday, and man, like, we rested some players. I would not be surprised if Leipzig come out flying and we potentially drop this game 3-0. I would not be surprised. Would either of you guys be surprised with this?
The one thing we got going for us is it's not at Anfield. So far in 2021, we have not conceded a goal.
Puskas Arena,
yeah, we have not conceded a goal at the Puskas Arena in 2021. So the stats are in our favor on that one. So I also think, by the way, it's ridiculous that we're playing both legs in the Puskas Arena.
And the away goals.
Yeah, the away goals.
Yeah, that would be like the ultimate. Like it would kind of be the ultimate 2021 Liverpool situation for us to go away.
If we lost on away goals,
go out on away goals in an away arena, like that would be kind of
ridiculous. That would be pretty much on point. I wouldn't. You know what? I wouldn't surprise me.
I think at that point it would just be like, all right, you know what? The rest of the season is just for the memes, guys. Like it's just for the memes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
See what the championship's like. You know,
so
most exciting league in the EFL, the championship.
So with this game coming up, I mean, I haven't checked Leipzig's records, but do you think we're putting in a full 90 with our best 11, or we subbing anybody in? Is Fabinho going to be in the midfield because he had Kabak and Phillips playing together for the first time at some point when what game was that? 2 games ago or whatever it was.
Chelsea, wasn't it?
The Chelsea game they played together, and then Fabinho. Anyway, nonetheless, I really want to see some mix and matching in here and get Fabinho back in the midfield, get the strikers kicking, get all 4 of them on at once. Put Jota up there with Firmino, Mane, and Salah, and just throw everything in the kitchen sink. No sitting back. Don't wait for this game, because if we sit back and just hope to win with that 2-0 away victory, I think that's going to bite us in the ass. Agreed?
Yeah, I agree too. However, if we want to go in a slightly different direction, because I think we can all agree that we want to win the Champions League, of course. We want to finish top 4, neither of which I think we're going to give particularly great odds to. So let's go for something that we absolutely can win and go for Guinness World Record most center back pairings used by a single team.
We don't have that already?
And let's just throw Trent and Robbo in center backs.
Yeah, we just go for as many as mathematically possible.
Tsimikas and Williams out on the wings. Like,
why stop there? Why not get Bobby and Genie back there?
Why not, man?
Just keep it going.
Put Mane and Salah in there. Make them work out their differences right in the center backs there.
No, again, I think this has all been a scheme by the bigwigs at UEFA, because this is the inaugural year of the UEFA Conference Championships, which is or whatever Conference League I think it's called. It's the league below
European Conference.
Yeah, it's the one below the Europa League. So they want a big team to kind of be in the competition to really give it some weight. So
God bless Ben's tinfoil hat conspiracy corner.
This is
always finds a way.
No, I think with this Champions League tie here, I'm cautiously saying I think it's probably in the bag right now. In that. And I say this
definitely not in the bag.
I'm saying this because I feel like we have a complex, and by we I mean Liverpool. I mean we say we a lot in reference to Liverpool. We don't play for the team.
I get on people about that, and it's like, you don't play. It's we, but you know what? I was at Anfield. I did the tour, and they always say we.
Yeah,
they tell you are part of it.
This is just
we're official supporters. We are all part of it. So I kind of lean into Liverpool.
Yeah, I've also done the tour at Anfield. So you and I have earned the right to say we. Unfortunately, John, you're going to have to say they.
Are you a paid member of Liverpool Halifax Supporters Club? Then you are. You can say we.
Regardless, I feel like Liverpool Football Club / we have a bit of a complex regarding the Premier League, where I think it's a culture of losing that exists there. When we go to play, it's as we've seen, a huge struggle. I got to believe that the Champions League, a bit of a mentality shift for a variety of reasons. So I feel like this round is probably dusted. I might come to regret that statement. So I think by all means we should put Fabinho back in midfield. I think we should put Kabak and Phillips in center back, kind of get them back into it, and then maybe carry that over against Wolves, later on.
I would concur.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would hope for too. And like I would say that like maybe we're not playing for a win in the same way that we would be playing for a win, but like I think we know how to protect a 2-0 victory away from home.
Hey, we can lose 1-0, which has been the style lately. And still be okay.
But I think like we know how to not lose in Europe better than we know how to not lose in England, if that makes sense. Like it's kind of a thing. Like
I really want to believe that now, because that's all I have left to believe in with this team.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think we're going to win the Champions League, but I think it would make us all feel pretty good if we, had an appearance in the semifinal before we get absolutely bodied by like Bayern Munich.
All right, Ben, I know what you're saying, but like here's the thing: the last time, one of the first times that Everton was doing better than Liverpool in the league and finished above us in the league, it was the first time in the Premier League actually, and the first time that happened, 2005.
Fair enough. I was actually thinking about this. we win the Champions League 2 years ago, and then last year we just get absolutely embarrassed. We win the Premier League last year, and now we're getting absolutely embarrassed in the Premier League. So I think we just have an issue with repeat performances. So by this logic, we should win the Champions League this year, and then win the Premier League the year after. We'll never do the double, but I think this is the trend.
Just every year we get one of them, one of the others, back and forth. And you know what? If that works out, I won't complain. Well, not a whole lot. I'll find something.
You will find it in your heart, I'm
there.
sure.
So let's complain about the rest of the league right now, because there was plenty of other games, a couple interesting ones, and a few other ones that finished up today. And